Right now, your life may not be crushing you the way you think it is. What is crushing you is the endless noise inside your own mind, the constant replay, the fake arguments, the future disasters that have not happened, the old memories you keep dragging into new mornings. And here is the part most people never notice. The door was open the whole time. The cage was not built by life. It was built by habit, by fear repeated so often it started to sound like truth, by stories told so many times they became your identity. So before we go any further, hear this clearly. If you cannot lead your mind for 10 quiet seconds, how will you lead your life for the next 10 years? Stay with me, because this is where the shift begins. Not when life becomes easier, not when everyone understands you, not when the perfect moment arrives. It begins when you stop treating every thought like an order. It begins when you stop making a home inside your own mental noise. And if you really listen to this, something can change tonight. Not outside first, inside. You may feel your chest loosen, your breathing slow down, your attention come back into your body. And once that happens, once you feel even a little space between you and the storm in your head, your old way of living will start to feel far too costly. Keep listening. This part matters more than motivation. It matters more than hype. It matters because it can give you your life back. You are not only tired because life is hard. You are tired because your mind does not stop talking. Before you even get out of bed, it has already traveled everywhere except the present. It goes back into yesterday. It runs forward into tomorrow. It enters a conversation that never happened. It builds fear around a problem that is still imaginary. It places pressure on your chest before the day has even started. Then later you ask why your body feels heavy, why your focus is weak, why your energy disappears so fast. But look closely. The problem is not only what is happening around you. The problem is what keeps happening within you. When was the last time you were truly here? Not just alive, not just surviving, fully here, drinking water and actually tasting it, walking and actually feeling the ground, sitting in silence without reaching for your phone, your memories, or another distraction the second the quiet shows up. Most people cannot do that now, and the dangerous part is that they call it normal. They think living in the head means they are deep. They think overthinking means they are wise. They think constant worry proves they care. But most of the time it proves something else. It proves they have trained themselves to live inside mental static. They have mistaken noise for intelligence. They have confused tension with responsibility. And because of that, they miss their own life while they are busy trying to control it. Stay here, because once you see this clearly, you cannot unsee it. You start noticing how often your body is in the room while your attention is somewhere else completely. Thinking gives you the feeling of control. That is why it is so addictive. Your mind whispers, if I think about every angle, maybe I can stop pain before it comes. If I imagine every bad outcome, maybe I will be safe. If I replay the past enough times, maybe I can fix it. If I judge myself first, maybe other people will not hurt me as much. It sounds clever. It feels protective. But be honest with yourself. Has that strategy brought you peace? Has it made you free? Or has it made you tight, exhausted, and absent from your own days? You do not need more thought all the time. You need more contact with reality. The sky was always here. The work in front of you was always here. The people near you were always here. The next step was always here. But you were trapped in a room made of words. Here is the truth most people need to hear. The mind is a tool. It is not a place to live. You are supposed to pick it up when needed, use it well, then put it down. But many people never put it down. They carry it into meals, showers, prayer, love, rest, and every quiet moment that could have healed them. Then they wonder why peace feels far away. Of course it does. You are dragging a loud machine into every sacred corner of your day. And yes, some of your problems are real. But much of your suffering is still manufactured by the story wrapped around the facts. Two people can face the same pressure, the same uncertainty, the same financial stress, and one stays grounded while the other collapses. Why? Because one deals with reality. The other deals with reality plus fear, shame, prediction, memory, and mental drama layered on top of it. You are not your thoughts. Read that slowly inside yourself. You are not your thoughts. Thoughts appear, move, change shape, and vanish. Yet something in you remains. Something notices. Something watches. If you can observe a thought, then the thought cannot be your deepest self. You are the one aware of the noise, not the noise itself. And the moment you remember that, the grip begins to weaken. This is where real strength starts. Maybe your life is not impossible. Maybe your mind is simply untrained. That changes everything. An untrained mind creates fear in safe moments. It creates doubt before action. It creates pressure when nothing urgent is happening. It says, what if they reject you while you are alone in a quiet room? It says, what if you fail before you begin? It says you are behind, you are weak, you are not enough, while you are still breathing, still standing, still able to choose differently. The worst part is not that the mind says these things. The worst part is that you believe it like law, but many thoughts are not wisdom. They are habit. Some are useful. Many are foolish. A mind without discipline can hurt you deeply without ever touching your skin. That is why your life changes when you stop living inside your head. You stop obeying every inner voice. You begin to choose. And choice is freedom. Notice where the mind spends most of its time. In the past and in the future. It does not like the present because the present is simple. There is no long story there. No argument. No fantasy. Just breath, sound, light, sensation, movement, the task in front of you. But the mind wants complexity because complexity makes it feel important. So it pulls you backward into shame and drags you forward into fear while life keeps unfolding now. If you cannot guide your attention, you cannot guide your life. That is not poetry. That is practical truth. Attention is your most valuable currency. Wherever it goes, your life follows. If it keeps flowing into old pain, imagined disaster, comparison, and constant mental chatter, your days will feel small no matter how successful you appear from the outside. So where do you begin? You begin in the body because the body is always honest. The mind can pretend. The body rarely does. The mind says, I am fine, while the jaw is tight. The shoulders are hard. The stomach burns. The breath is shallow. The face is tense. So come back to the body. Not in theory. In practice, feel your breathing exactly as it is. At the nose, in the chest, in the belly. Feel the pressure in your feet. Feel your hands. Listen to the sounds around you. Notice how even one real second of attention starts to quiet the storm. Why? Because attention cannot fully rest in direct sensation and in mental storytelling at the same time. This is the doorway most people keep walking past. And your mind will resist it. It will call it boring. It will say this is pointless. It will tell you to check your phone, fix your future, replay the argument, search for more reassurance, think just a little longer. That is normal. That is the pattern trying to survive. So learn this early. You do not need to fight your mind all day. You only need to stop feeding it. A fire weakens when no one keeps bringing wood. Your overthinking feels powerful not because it is true, but because you keep fueling it with attention. You sit with one thought, stretch it, polish it, repeat it, and build a whole world around it. Then you wonder why it feels larger than life. So instead of wrestling every thought to the ground, step back and name it simply. Planning, worrying, judging, remembering, comparing, then return. Return to breath. Return to sensation. Return to the next real thing in front of you. Again and again. That is discipline. Not waiting to feel inspired. Not waiting for the perfect mood. Discipline, repetition, training, a quiet devotion to reality over drama. And once you practice this, space begins to appear. A thought can shout while you remain still. A thought can criticize while you continue the work. A thought can threaten while you stay grounded. That is power. But there is a deeper layer here, and do not miss it. Many people are not stuck in thought because they love thinking. They are stuck in thought because they are afraid to feel. They use thinking as a shield. They do not want to feel fear, so they plan forever. They do not want to feel sadness, so they analyze every detail instead of grieving. They do not want to feel shame, so they build blame in the mind. They do not want to feel loneliness, so they keep scrolling. They do not want to feel uncertainty, so they keep asking for reassurance that fades after 10 minutes. But you cannot think your way around feeling. You can only feel your way through it. That is why the loop keeps looping. The mind talks so you do not have to sit with the raw experience underneath it. So the next time you catch yourself spinning, ask a stronger question. What am I refusing to feel right now? Ask it honestly. Is it grief? Fear? Embarrassment? Anger? Disappointment? The ache of not being where you wanted to be by now? Then stop answering with more story. Answer with attention. Where does it live in the body? Chest, throat, belly, face, shoulders. Stay there for a moment. Not forever, just long enough to stop running. When you stop feeding the story and allow the feeling, something surprising happens. The feeling starts to move. It changes shape. It rises. It falls. Emotion is energy in motion. It becomes heavy and stuck when the mind traps it with endless commentary. But when you feel it directly, the cycle can begin to complete itself. Your shoulders soften. Your breath deepens. Your face relaxes. Your mind clears. And you realize maybe life did not need to be solved in that moment. Maybe you only needed to stop resisting it. Now let us speak plainly about real problems, because people often hide behind that phrase. Yes, your work matters. Your family matters. Your goals matter. Your future matters. But living in your head does not make you productive. Very often it makes you late. Overthinking looks like effort, but it produces nothing. It feels busy, but it is empty. If you want results, you need clarity. If you want clarity, you need presence. And if you want presence, you must stop feeding thought when it is spinning with no direction. Here is a rule you can use immediately. When the mind gets loud, do something physical. Stand up, wash your face, walk outside, stretch, clean one small thing, drink water, write one honest sentence, do 5 push-ups. Make the bed, open the window. Action breaks the spell. The mind is strongest when you sit there negotiating with it for an hour. Action weakens its hold. Most people wait to feel ready. They wait for confidence. They wait for certainty. They wait for the perfect plan. And the mind loves that because waiting keeps them hidden. But when your mind says, I do not know what to do, answer with this. Do the next obvious thing, not your whole life, not the next 10 years. The next clear step, send the message. Open the document. Start the workout. Apply for one job. Read 1 page. Practice for 10 minutes. One real step done in reality is worth more than 1,000 dramatic thoughts performed in private. The reason you keep returning to your head, even after hearing all of this, is because your identity has been built there. The old sentences became familiar. I always mess up. I am not confident. I am awkward. I am too late. I am unlucky. I am behind. I am not enough. These lines were repeated so many times, they started to feel like your name. So when you stop living in the head, it can feel strange, even scary. The old story starts breaking apart, and the part of you attached to it panics. It asks, if I am not this story, then who am I? Good. Let that question open. You are not only a story, you are awareness. You are presence. You are a living human being with breath, blood, movement, choice, and possibility. A story is useful only when it helps you move wisely. If the story makes you smaller, stop bowing to it. Of course, it feels true. You practiced it for years. If you rehearse fear, fear becomes familiar. If you rehearse weakness, weakness starts feeling natural. If you rehearse defeat, you begin to walk like a defeated person before life has even decided anything. So the goal is not to build a fake perfect story. The goal is to become someone who can act without waiting for a better story. Someone who can feel discomfort and still move. Someone who can feel doubt and still choose. Someone who can feel fear and still do what matters. That is mastery. And it begins in a simple daily place that does not look glamorous. Training attention. Every time you notice you are lost and bring yourself back to one anchor, breath, sound, sensation, your hands doing the task, you are training. Maybe you will have to do it 100 times a day. Fine. Every return is a repetition. Every repetition is strength. Stay with this because this small practice changes the entire quality of a life. Think of your attention like a cup filled to the top with water. If you walk carefully, the water stays inside. If you keep jerking your head in every direction, it spills. If you run in panic, the cup empties fast. That is how many people live now. Social media takes some. Old regret takes some. Comparison takes some. Imaginary conversations take some. Random opinions take some. Fear of the future takes some. By night, they say they have no energy left. Of course not. The cup leaked all day. So carry your attention with more care. Not with stiffness. Not with fear. With awareness. When you eat, eat. When you walk, walk. When you listen, listen. When you work, work. Single tasking has become a superpower because so many people are mentally split into pieces. When you become whole again, people feel it. Your speech slows down. Your reactions soften. Your words get cleaner. Your choices get wiser. You stop rushing because rushing is often a symptom of living in the head. A present person may move fast, but inside they are not frantic. Now choose one area of your life where your mind hurts you the most. Relationships, money, work, self-image, study, health, the future. Just one. Look at the pattern there. Does your mind compare? Predict disaster? Replay pain? Fill every gap with doubt? Good. See that pattern for what it is. A habit, not an identity. And habits can be retrained. For the next 7 days in that one area, practice this. When the story starts, do not argue with it. Do not explain yourself to it. Do not chase proof. Return. Return to breath. Return to body. Return to the next action. If you fail, return again. Freedom is not becoming perfect. Freedom is becoming less controlled. That alone can change the direction of a person's life. A person who cannot guide their own mind is easy to move. Praise moves them. Rejection moves them. Silence moves them. Opinion moves them. Pressure moves them. They spend years chasing approval and calling it love, calling it success, calling it normal. But dependence on outside reactions is not peace. When you stop living in your head, you stop being so easy to control. You no longer need to win every argument. You no longer need to impress people who cannot really see you. You no longer need to explain yourself to everyone who misunderstands you. You stop building your life around the fear of rejection. You become simpler. And simplicity has strength because it cannot be manipulated so easily. Also remember this. Your mind is not always the enemy. Sometimes it helps you solve, create, plan, learn, imagine, build. Good. Use it then. But when it becomes noisy, it is often trying to protect an illusion. The illusion says, if I think enough, I will be fully safe. But life never promised complete control. Life can change in one call, one message, one mistake, one chance, one sudden turn. So if your peace depends on certainty, you will never rest. Peace comes when you accept reality and train your response to it. Ask a better question. Not what if everything goes wrong. Ask if something goes wrong, can I meet it? Can I handle the next step? Can I stay present long enough to respond instead of panic? With training, the answer becomes yes. Not because you control the world, but because you trust your ability to face it. That is the turn. That is when you stop living like a frightened animal, scanning every corner for danger, and start living like a centered human being. Calm, awake, present, ready, not numb, not aggressive, just steady inside. And here is one more truth that may hit hard. Sometimes you live in your head because thinking helps you avoid responsibility. As long as you are still thinking, you can delay action. Thinking feels safe. Thinking keeps you hidden. Action exposes you. Action can fail. Action can be judged. Action can reveal your real level. So you say you are preparing, but sometimes you are hiding. You say you need more time, but sometimes you are hiding. You say you need more information, but sometimes you are hiding. The mind is clever. It uses logic to protect fear. That is why you must become more honest with yourself. Ask, is this thought leading to action or only leading to more thought? If it only creates another loop, stop feeding it. Return to breath. Return to the body. Write the plan down if planning is needed. Make the decision. Then stop carrying the plan around all day like a heavy bag. Planning without movement is just worry wearing clean clothes. This changes relationships too. When you live in your head, you create full stories about people with very little evidence. They reply late, so you decide they do not care. They seem distracted once, so you decide you are being rejected. They speak sharply once, so you build a war in your imagination. Then you suffer over something that happened mostly inside your own mind. Come back to facts. What was actually said? What was actually done? Facts bring clarity. Assumptions bring pain. Not everything needs a reaction. Some people throw hooks because they want your attention. If you live in your head, you bite every hook. If you are present, you notice it and let it pass. Silence becomes power. Restraint becomes power. Clear seeing becomes power. So speak to yourself with direction, not cruelty. Instead of saying, I'm useless, ask, what is the next step? Instead of saying, I cannot do this, say, do 5 minutes. Instead of saying, I'm too far behind, say, start now. Do not wait for magic. Build skill, return to breath, body, action, and reality again and again. The mind may never become silent forever, and that is fine. The goal is not to have no thoughts. The goal is to stop being ruled by them. So when you catch yourself spiraling again, do not panic. Smile a little. Now you can see it, and seeing is where freedom starts. Take one slow breath. Feel it enter. Feel it leave. Look around you. Really look. Life is still here. The room is still here. The light is still here. Your hands are still here. Your next step is still here. You do not need to solve your whole life tonight. You do not need to untangle every fear before moving. You do not need to become perfect before peace begins. You only need to come back. Come back from the story. Come back from the noise. Come back from the imaginary future and the repeated past. Come back to this breath. Come back to this moment. Come back to this body. Come back to what is real. And then, from that grounded place, do the next true thing in front of you. That is how everything changes, quietly at first. Then completely. Not because the world suddenly obeys you, but because you are no longer obeying every voice in your head. And once that happens, even for a few seconds at a time, you will understand something most people spend years missing. Peace was not somewhere far away. It was waiting underneath the noise the whole time.